Here we go. First up, we're moving ahead.
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes. I will second.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Treasurer report, authorization of the payment of the bills. F and G fund vouchers 200 to 11. $18,684.89. A fund voucher 603 to 620. $11,896.23. TNA fund vouchers no, $2886.68.
I'll second that.
Yeah, I'll make the motion.
Well, generally, he just listed them all off, so we have to list them all off. I don't want to list them all off again, so I'm counting that as the motion.
It's allowed to do.
Discussion, all in favor?
I
Unanimous and none you.
don't think the crowd wants to hear us to.
Okey doke.
Amy, at what point do our taxes go to the county for collection?
November 1st.
Okay, so we're getting real close.
That's pretty close, 98.5% collected. That's pretty normal, I think.
That's actually.
No, actually, it's a
high.
normal.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, that's good then.
we do notices every month and those really help in collection.
Super. And then we decided on the colors for the garbage cans.
Yep. That one, I was just passing them around when you weren't here so they could see them. I'm gonna open it back up for whoever. We were doing the black for garbage and the, basically the Homer blue for the recycling can.
Homer blue.
It is actually called the Med Blue GA.
I'd like to make a motion that we accept the treasurer's report as written.
Are we seeing the recreation report as separate from the treasurer's report, or you prepared it because?
I prepared to get the original director at the time, and I was basically helping interim for that time. So that was all the things I did. Andrew's here now doing everything, so you can ask him anything current. But this was all stuff before he was here. Except like I did the promo for the final concert, but then he did the final concert. I didn't go to it. I hear you even paid them, so I was like, yay.
All right, we can do rec 2.
Okay. I'd like to thank the fire department for arranging for the EMT bag and fixing the AED for the rec. And with that, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the rec report as well.
Second.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Can we introduce our new interim rec director
Sure.
while we have him here and
Let's do so.
for everybody?
In front of the camera.
Yeah. Yeah. You
Put you on record for everybody.
gotta come forward a little bit
Yep.
more and turn around.
Okay, there you go.
Our new interim rec director, Andrew
Yeah, welcome.
Pierce. Welcome aboard.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Glad to have you.
And Andrew has joined us at a very busy time of year for rec, and he has hit the ground running and has built a lot of connections already and really impressed everyone with what he's thrown himself into. So thank you for coming on board, and thank you for all the ideas and energy you're bringing to the position.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Happy to have you.
All right, let's see, cemetery reports.
I'll make a motion to accept it as written.
I'll second it.
Discussion.
The one building is continuing the process of being cleaned out in the home stretch. So
Excellent.
probably within a month, it'll be.
Okay. Very good. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Food reports.
Man does a great job as usual. I read them over this afternoon. They look good. I'll make a motion. We accept the codes report as written.
I'll second that.
Discussion. All in
Aye.
favor?
The only thing for discussion is I know we've been working on getting our village codes updated. The draft is with general code right now.
Good.
We were very delinquent in getting it to them, so we really don't have much of a leg to be standing on to be hounding them too much
Fair
for
enough.
getting it back.
All right, so unanimous on the vote.
Yeah.
Next is BW.
Bill, how much are we done for the season on sidewalks?
Yes, sir. Yeah, took the excavator back to second and third September. So,
How many feet did you get all 70,000 feet in? Or
No.
7,000?
I think it was like 2,300 feet, something like that.
That's
So,
pretty darn good. And that
plus we got
concrete's
that piece
heavy.
going into the, Central Parks all done.
Yeah, I saw that. That was big. That was looked good. By the way, Phil and I are gonna take a trip to Syracuse on Monday to check out Mack truck and, talking electric garbage trucks. And then we're gonna stop down either in Lafayette or stop down to Polkville to look at their salt shed buildings.
Okay.
To see, because we're kind of getting behind on our salt shed work, so we thought we'd take a look at what they have and maybe talk to somebody and see what the costs are, because we got to get moving on that.
Does Mac and Syracuse have the electric garbage trucks up there?
I don't know, but they have
Oh, okay.
salesmen who
I was just
talk to
curious.
somebody. No, I don't know.
Okay,
I called them, I've left messages. I get squat back, crickets. But if we don't start, we'll never get one. It'll take at least 2 years and maybe we won't get one, but at least we gotta get more info.
my buddy who they're selling their waste management thing, they're gonna have some trucks left over, so might be worth talking to them.
Who's your buddy? I'm
He's
in.
up in, you gotta go up to Little Falls.
Oh, I like little balls.
Yeah.
I know where that is.
I can arrange it and, yeah. They have the trucks, they're gonna have the trucks left that, you have to wheel the cart up and then it hooks on and then dumps it like we used to use
Yeah,
before,
in the back.
except not in the back, they're on the sides. So you could
Oh, but you need a.
You could go down the middle of the street and have one on each side of the street go and
Okay.
bring them.
Yeah, we'll talk one.
Yeah, it's worth it. I mean, we can get a super deal.
And I did talk with the mayor in Cortland, and he's talked very upbeat about maybe doing some cooperative garbage work with the city. And he said he would get to me with a contact, and that was 3 weeks ago, and all I've heard is crickets. So I gotta go, you gotta go.
Bug me.
He doesn't talk to me, I'm not.
Bug me, I'll bug him.
No.
Yeah,
All right, okay, that's it for DPW.
very good.
I like, what we.
I already stopped by the Polkville site.
Oh, did you? I like it.
It's too big from what we need.
Well, it doesn't have to be the same
I
size.
know,
It's the tech-
I'm just
the
saying, but
technology, yeah.
we have to, it's what we want, I think.
Yeah,
Just a smaller version.
Yeah.
That's it.
We gotta talk on who's their contract.
They gave us some contact information from.
Oh, good. So
Polkville,
you're looking.
Yeah.
making good
But
progress.
still go with the Lafayette, 'cause I haven't been there.
Yeah, because that one's very similar.
Right.
All right, good.
all right.
I'll make a motion to accept the DPW report, sir.
I'll second it.
Bill, anything you want to add?
No, I'm just gonna bring up the sidewalk thing.
That's excellent. They look great.
Day we brought up too.
Oh, yeah, we'll talk about it.
Bill, we had some storm damage. Are the guys gonna get around?
The whole village been picked. They picked the whole thing yesterday.
Oh, okay, great. Thank you.
Super.
Good job. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Okay. Fire departments. Too much with reports here.
You're up, Jay.
Well, the first report, I'll tell you, that was the one I forgot to hand you, so he turned
Oh,
that
okay.
in on time, and then we found out here it wasn't in the packet.
I like this new,
Great.
it really tells you what's going on with all that. It's really, those guys are amazing.
All right. Next, in August.
While we're here, Jay, your department and Chief Pittman, your department, kudos for an outstanding 9/11 ceremony yesterday.
Thank you.
Well done by both departments. Thank you.
Thanks.
And I wanted to point out here, because Jay's probably too modest for the department. that their average response time is 2 minutes 52 seconds. NFPA standard is 5 minutes first response time, so they are well below that, and for a volunteer fire department, that is outstanding.
I saw that and I was amazed.
Fantastic. Running a tight ship there, chief. I like it.
I'm doing my best.
Doing good.
I'll make a motion to accept the, fire department.
I'll second.
For a second.
Any other discussion? Chief, anything else to add?
Well, sir.
All right then. All fair?
Aye. Yeah, I know we'll be talking about the golf cart later.
This is where they go. Okay. All right.
There's a couple other things that in there too. So it's not the last time you're gonna hear from me.
All right. Police departments.
I guess the training chief is going along well from what I read. Yep. But everything's good. All right. Good to hear.
Chief, do you want to talk a little bit about the centralized arraignment part and how that may impact us?
So right now, we arrest somebody, centralized arraignment split done twice a day. Evening, I'm sorry, afternoon and evening. So if we arrest somebody, basically take them down to jail holding, and it's full, we have to wait till next arraignment. It's not, back a few years ago, we were able to call a judge is able to then arraign. Now we'll have to basically sit on the individual until centralized arraignment comes up. That could be it. That could be, if we arrest somebody at 11 o'clock at night, you could be sitting on, there's no room in jail booking, we could be sitting on until the next day. So I'd have to call somebody here.
If anybody knows anybody that's looking for a job, at sheriff's department. Yeah.
They're extremely low staffing. They're, you know,
I'll make a motion. We accept the chief's report as written.
I'll second it.
I got a couple things for you.
I figured you did. Discussion, chief.
Nothing on the boards.
They're running like Swiss watches.
Yes. So, I had that storm at the beginning of August. I lost parts of the roof of the shed at the range, talked with Phil, and need to replace it. Looking, instead of just putting shingles up there, putting steel on, probably be cheaper and easier, quicker. This weekend, the Child Advocacy Center, they have their race that starts and ends at the high school. It's gonna be going down Copeland to Maine to Clinton, down 281 back to school. That starts at 10 a.m. And then the last Saturday of the month, we're doing our drug take back here at the town hall.
Yeah, I just got stopped and handed flyers on the way in the door, so.
And yeah, that's it.
Oh, you got something else. You
I was
just,
gonna tell Ed we had wrote 11 tickets at the truck stop.
I knew that because you had 47, you said that was the majority of the tickets. Because I keep bugging him, I keep telling him, we don't want to turn this into a speed trap town, we want people to come to Homer.
Yeah,
Catch the bad guys, scare the crap out of the kids, and make sure you get the bad guys. So, anyhow, yeah,
And we want people to come to Homer, we want them to follow the speed limits.
yeah, that too, but I'm
And I do
just saying.
get people complaining to me about speeding on this.
Oh, this
Including me.
constant. Well, did you get called over?
no, I complain about speeding right now. Yeah, they come flying past my place. All right,
I made a motion.
fine. Any other discussion?
I think we're good.
All in favor?
Aye.
Water and sewer. Keith, anything you want to add to this?
Just we got the North Main project pretty much wrapped up and we started down to the South Main project.
Good.
We're running into a lot of concrete down there, big concrete, so it's been pretty slow digging. But it's coming along. But up here on by the North Main pump station, I don't know if you noticed, it's just a driveway now to the top end. That's the way he wanted it. Because it used to be just a driveway going in there.
Right.
He wanted to ask me if we put it back. Somehow it turned into a turnaround and
Oh, okay.
So I put that back. We got a little touching up to do up there. But
Okay.
we'll get it after a while, but
And I do need to talk with you at some point about, the D Street project. Just working with them on that, so.
yeah, I've been, I've been emailing Glenn and stuff for the last 3-4 months
Okay,
on it, and they really want to, get going. I just hope they're not expecting the village to suck up any of the costs.
no, I think they probably need more help with like the planning and stuff like that, but.
Yeah,
What is the major holdup that they're moving forward?
Well, the water and sewer stuff, and then the road, which we'll talk about. We'll talk about.
the water, the sewer going underneath the building, which used to be the road that went out there. And I don't know who the guy or persons that made that decision back then to have that happen.
Put the pipe under the road, didn't they?
Well, that was a road, but they build they build onto the building. So everything runs underneath the building.
Oh, that's all in the project.
Oh, the Albany project you're talking
He's
about.
talking about the old.
Oh,
Oh,
This is
we were talking about D Street.
oh, okay.
One of the things with D Street is I think that there's a way to work it with them where we can get access and have the water come from,
Okay.
name of that road?
Rob Sand Drive.
Rob Sand, so that you'd have a loop instead of just a
Right.
kind of the closed thing, which I know is something you guys wanted,
Oh,
right?
you're talking,
Yeah.
okay, D Street.
Yeah.
Going down here. I
Yeah.
had some good stuff going on.
Yeah, we'll talk
I
about it.
didn't even know that was back going again.
Oh, yeah.
But other than that, we're going along and, there was a fatality today with a welcome Homer sign, so we're gonna have to attend to that when we get done.
Which one, what kind of welcome home?
That one
One of
down.
our new sites.
One of the new ones?
Yeah, they're split, yeah.
What happened to it?
He's
The
not
back
talking.
of that whole. I backed into it.
Well, we need to, those signs look
You
terrible.
do an incident report, I can claim insurance and have it replaced. It's about 8,000, but I have to have an incident report and pictures within so many days of it.
Fortunately, there's a guy right behind you that can help you with that.
Yep.
Well, I should have told you a car came off 81.
Yeah.
So if you guys can work on that tomorrow, seriously, so we can turn that in.
All right, anything else? We have a motion,
I'll make a motion that we accept the water and sewer report. Second.
any other discussion? All fair?
I tell you, Keith, it just doesn't seem like a water and sewer report unless there's something clogging up the Fulton Street pump station.
Yeah. It's terrible up there, it just never ending.
All right, privilege of the floor. Now we got Fred,
Can you hear me?
we can.
Number one, we're having another special meeting a week from tomorrow night to continue the discussion on billboards. Number two, we're hosting an event on October 5th and 6th for the comptroller's office in the senior center for training on retirement. And we hope there may be 40 to 50 people. But we're glad that they asked, and we're glad that to be able to supply them with the space they need. So that'll be on the 5th and 6th of October. We did approve the village recreation contract that we've already paid for this year. We approved to buy a new loader last week, and it was delivered today. So ours will be going to auction, I believe, out in Monroe County on October 7th. I talked a little bit about a sign at our last meeting. I had somebody tell me that owns a business on 281 that the Preble exit should say Homer and Preble. And that way bring people down 281. And I am awaiting,
Point.
I'm awaiting the gentleman from DOT's response to that. I did think it was an excellent, an excellent idea. So, other than some comments on our court audit, which went extremely well, they just recommended that we buy a little lockbox to keep a key in. We're talking about cleaning services for the town, for the town hall. We're looking at, we'll be getting quotes from 3 different outfits. In fact, I even told one of the clerks today, it might be even time for us to talk to a school to see if there's any of the maintenance people there or custodians that need extra hours and could do 3-4 hours a week at our building. So we, again, all the options are on the table. We did put in a new server or a server last month, and we did make the decision. Well, we will be making the decision on the 20th. It'll be official, but we will be going with the QuickBooks. But that decision will become official a week from tomorrow night. So Mr. Clune will have to tell me if I missed anything.
Well, I'm glad you're here, Fred, because I forgot my notes. So as far as I'm concerned, you hit it all.
Well,
I will add to it that because the town got a John Deere and the village has a John Deere, it means we can continue shared services with equipment attachments moving forward.
Fair point. Fred, did you check with the mayor of Preble about this sign change?
I have not. You mean Mr. During?
No, I mean Chief Pittman's mom.
Oh, well, I can do that. I've got a meeting with him Friday Thursday and Friday. So
Yeah,
I can check with him and
she might have some thoughts about that.
so, well,
Brennan knows, he knows you're trouble.
any other ways that I can pull his chain?
No, that's probably good. That's probably good for now.
All right. Well,
Fred.
again, I appreciate very much the opportunity.
Thank you for coming. I appreciate it.
All right.
Update.
Yeah.
All right, anyone else for privilege of the floor? Once, twice, thrice, moving on. All right, DRI updates.
So LPC had a meeting last week. We are now down to 32 total projects with $28 million in requested funding, which is down almost 7 million from July. To keep everybody a reminder that our target is 14 million. So we have to cut another 14 million. There's currently another of the 28 million, it's 59 million in total project costs. So our goal is to be near 14 million in projects with about 40 million in project costs to have that return on investment. That's going to continue to morph and change as the LPC continues on. September 27th, the local planning committee will be doing having an in-person presentation for the nonprofits and the private and nonprofit projects. That'll be from 2 to 4:50. Fall Fest, which is later that evening from 5 to 8. And this is critical for everybody that has an interest in the DRI to come out to the Fall Festival. There will be a consultant team there getting feedback on the various projects. So, and it's not going to be a popularity contest. It's not like you come in and you go, I want this project, so you put all your chits on one thing. They're going to have it arrayed in a manner such as like you think is gonna be most feasible, most necessary, different things, so you can actually get a look at them that way. So I encourage everybody to come out. The Fall Fest is from 5 to 8, but the consultant will be there from 5 to 7 and a little bit later. So don't think that you can show up at like 7:45 and they're still gonna be there. Show up a little bit earlier. Besides, it's gonna be a great time. There's gonna be music, food.
On the green.
No, it's gonna be down by the basketball courts and the community building.
It's actually on the green.
Oh,
It's from the Little White Church actually to the green, to the fire station, to the community building, to even a walkway leading to where the pier would be. So the other things that need to be mentioned, coming down, if you want to make comments on what you would want on a river trail if you want it, and recreation, they're going to be soliciting comments for both of those that are not funded projects right now in the DRI, but could become priority projects. So anyone who wants anything in recreation, which Andrew over here is coming to the meeting tomorrow to help figure out a recreation activity on the basketball court. And then, and other things. And then anyone that might want the river trail would be able to come and make comments too.
the next item is October 5th. There will be a public session from 5:30 to 7 o'clock in the evening in the town hall basement. And then they are looking to have the strategic improvement plan, which is this whole thing, completed by December 15th. So lots going on. Those are the dates. Remember, September 27th, October 5th. And then we'll have a final, probably December 15th for a final rollout.
Sure.
One of the things that we'll need to look at as a board is for the Lincoln project, the statue,
Location.
they need a location.
Yep.
So,
All right. Very good. And now new business. Approve interim contract between Homer Central School District, the Village of Homer for LED signs.
That must speak at once.
This is an interim.
right.
Interim usage agreement, yes.
Everybody understand what the hell a nit is?
Yeah, it's a measurement of brightness of a light.
I always thought it was lumens, but okay.
Well, there's all, lumens, candle powers, net, and it's all.
So,
They're different.
are you good with it, Mayor?
Well,
You are, I am.
The only thing was, did you, Dan, get a chance to look and see?
We talked a little bit before the meeting, 6,000 nits, that's half of the power of the sign that they have now, which I think goes up to 12,000. The marketing language for this one other company that speaks to quote unquote extreme brightness is 4,500 to 6,000 nits. That can be, I think, construed that you need the power of 4,500 to 6,000 nits to compete with, say, a midday sun. So that means, perhaps 6,000, the half capacity or the mid capacity of the sign that were put in at the high school and the intermediate school, that may be just fine. And then, I'll let Rick and Josh speak to this, but it can, it can dim as the ambient light darkens. So I think the only sticking point perhaps is just the understanding of what evening hours mean. When that commences, when it's, when do we want a hard, time frame for it or not?
And also I'm a little concerned about just the squishiness of the approximately 90% dimming.
Sure, understood.
If I may, I'm
Please, yeah.
my name is Richard Tucker. I'm an attorney from law from Harris Beach. I represent, we represent the Homer Central School District. And this matter was brought to my specific attention not too long ago. I think it's been on longer term radar screen for you all. But this agreement was an effort at compromise. I think that's the first thing we want to know. And that's really why we added the language subject to revision by mutual agreement by parties. We're not looking to force anything or hide anything. We really think, if you want to put it in the simplest way, the proof will be in our eyes when the sign is energized. And I think you hit a nail on the head. What's the name? We'll know when we see it. And I think that in the, in the spirit of cooperation, being able to turn it on in limited capacity, which we've been calling flat, to be like the operation of the pre-existing sign. And then use our best judgment, reason people, your code enforcement officers expressed interest in continuing to assist and track this as we develop for later after this interim use, and the village has an opportunity to look at its longer term LED policies of what the district's, more, larger capacity for use of the sign would be. But we feel this is an effort to, without turning it on, to make our best estimate of what the brightness should be. And I think one other thing that we could look at is there is an auto dimming function, and that's part of what we talked about, the 90%, is that we can use and watch to see what happens if you set it to be at a maximum brightness, it's going to be with the sun, and then as it gradually sun goes down, it goes down to the baseline, so as to not be overly bright at any given point. So I don't know, Chuck, if you wanted to segue on that function, which a possibility is what would be operating under the section 1A of the agreement.
So my name is Josh Mazzaio. I'm an architect with Hunt Engineers and working with the school district. Each sign is set up with a sensor. And what that does, as you're saying, is it adjusts the light automatically. So at night, it drops down to its lowest level at, say, high noon, the worst case scenario brightness. That's when it's at its brightest. And that's to essentially create a similar feel of perceived brightness, from nighttime to daytime. It's not bright to get into your face, it's bright to compete with ambient light. As I've dug into the NITS candles and everything else, it's a bunch of apples, oranges, and bananas. Candles is the ambient light as it's perceived on a surface. The NIT is as it's perceived at the source to your eye from a distance. So it's not an exact, math equation to make a comparison. But what it does is it creates the conversation of control. And as directed to try to keep it as simple and equivalent to what the district was having is how it was, this report was generated.
We had the discussion, were you able to find out what the old sign was illuminated at?
So that's when I started realizing the different vegetables. Yeah, so I tried digging into it. It's funny is when you look at the digital signs of similar nature to what we're using, it tells you everything you need to know and everything about it. You try to look at backlit signs, even brand new ones that are LED, within the internal space. That's all they say is that it's LED lit from inside instead of, fluorescent bulbs or whatever the sources were. So I wasn't able to get a good comparison. And that's why we generated that halfway point with the discussion that we would continue the relationship with the community. We're trying to see if that is a good starting point.
And it satisfies the school's interest. I'm just thinking of, it's gonna get dark at 5:30 in the winter, and the school's gonna have nighttime events like concerts or games they might want to publicize. Is that still gonna work at this 90% level, or will the school be looking to adjust it?
So the 90% is how we have it built in already. I mean, it does debate on where the starting point, I guess, would be. But the way the lighting sensor works is it adjusts it based on the light level. So that way it's, again, perceived the same for the pedestrian walking by or the car driving by as they would see it during the day.
Right, so not so dark that at night it's a distraction where you're looking at it like this, it's still, readable at that.
When we did the test and had the place come do the test, we had them turn it down to as low as it would go. And you could still see it from everywhere. So certainly visibility won't be an issue.
They answered my question about the auto dimming, the photovoltaic, so that'll be like there'll be a self-rolling adjustment throughout the day as the light changes. So that answers my question on that one. I think some of these things we're not gonna know until we actually see it. I think this is a good agreement so that it's a starting point. And this will actually, I believe, help us as we're crafting our ordinance because we will be able to firsthand see and get feedback from residents on an actual
Yeah,
in process side.
What's the size of your sign? I haven't been over there. 4 by 8, 5 by 10?
no, it's like,
It's similar to what it was before.
yeah, same footprint.
Okay, that's about,
But it's-
3 by 8 or something.
No, it's bigger than that.
Other, I don't have the information. It's a good-
Yeah, 8 by 8.
We'll tell you just.
What,
Well, I just wanted to know, so, because we're still trying to figure out sizes and, like I say.
But the actual sign that is bigger than just the illuminated part. It's
Yeah.
sectioned
I
off.
remember a sign. I haven't seen the new one, so.
what,
No big deal. We'll figure it out.
so what happens 1 year and 1 day from today?
Well, the reason we put a year on it was frankly to kind of like reduce some pressure from the discussions. And that's why it's also 30-day termination, so that when, you know, the additional information is available, reviews have been done, and, you know, you can put in responses to the community, that this agreement can be terminated. So what we figured, put it out a year,
Right,
it allows, you know, reasoned discussion and review without having the pressure to say, you know, I knew there was talk of, you know, trying to get the law and, you know, it was 6 weeks. I thought that was pretty aggressive, my opinion. You know, we didn't want to put like an artificial say, this is a 45-degree agreement, and then you see us back here again to say,
yeah,
you know.
no, I mean, I think it's, you guys can be the test case and draw all the fire from the residents for us.
I think it's the perfect solution to what we're looking for.
Yeah, I think this is a good agreement and I would recommend that we go with it.
Yeah, okay,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
fine with it.
Only additional count that I would say for 1C, that static image, for the meeting that we had, previous. The code officer wanted the look of the LED display to be that of, the original monument sign, which is a white background, black letters. Depending on these nits and depending on the luminescence of the LED sign, that actually may be, distracting, that may be too bright, just this white background, that starkness of the white may not work. So perhaps give the school district and their engineers to come up with a background that's a little more pleasing perhaps, or that's like gray, I mean, who knows what it is. but
Sure.
Whatever is, and that they're able to convey their messages that they want to convey, but then, you know, it's not as jarring as an image.
Yeah, it's a year of practice and figuring it
Oh, yeah.
out, so yeah, if they need to have different colors, I don't have a problem with that.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think it'd be the test case, so.
And it was 8 foot by 4.
8 by 4.
Yeah. And then the
I
surrounding.
think that's what everybody else is looking at too, so I mean, you're about the right size, so that's a really good test case.
Yeah, and the surround is of the historic nature of the building, so they relate to, so high school matches up with high school. And intermediate matches up with it.
Yeah, the surround does look nice.
So you're gonna probably want those signs at the intermediate.
It's already at
Day.
No, that's there already.
Oh, I thought this was high school.
It's,
Oh. Where the hell was it? Pretty nice.
Yeah, we did have one resident already complain about the sign to intermediate school, blocking visibility. As you pull out, not being able to see people on the sidewalk. So that was mine,
Oh, okay.
who works for DOT. So, anyway, all right, so I'm good with this. With
You
entertaining
need a motion?
I do.
I'll make a motion that we enter into this agreement for the year.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous, very good.
It will be a work in progress.
Yeah.
Thank you, and thank you
Thank you.
everybody for hearing from us. From a process standpoint, we're actually going over to a board meeting ourselves at the district, so we could bring a wedding copy with us.
Oh, okay.
And we'd be able to take it and we set it there and also have it approved by that board.
There you go.
Three copies, one for us and one for them with officials after. Tom always mails me one back.
Yeah, and to Dan, we'll communicate and I'll get you the list to the copy.
Yep.
And we'll make everyone,
And so, Dan, if, once we have the sign, they can illuminate it tomorrow morning, correct?
Correct.
Do you want them notarized right now?
Well, I didn't include a
No, I
notification on
didn't,
it.
so,
I
okay.
thought it was. It will overkill.
I'm just asking for.
I think we can attest for all the parties here around there. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody. I'm Jeff Governor, assistant superintendent of school, and the former mayor of the village of Groton. It's like, municipalities can work together. My brother-in-law, Matt Skaggs.
Oh, yes, Matt used to work for him.
Yeah.
Or Matt's, yeah. All right.
Thank you, everybody. I want to add that
Thank you very much.
also the school really did work with us and the attorneys working with us.
Yeah, no, I know they did. I was really happy about that. I think that's great.
Oh, it should be.
Yeah, no, I think it's great. And then also, people really hate it. It's not our fault. Cool. Well, but this way, I think, we can work out a lot of bugs and stuff.
I really think it'll help us set parameters for
Yeah.
everybody else that wants to.
Which is why
For all the rest of it.
I'm in no hurry I'd like to go through the entire winter basically with them testing it before we,
Absolutely.
right? And gives us plenty of,
Now that we have the interim agreement, we have something in place.
Yeah.
But I just don't want us to sit on our laurels.
So we have
No.
to wait till this time next year to say, whoa.
Yeah, exactly.
we can get it all ready, but we'll at least have a good idea of.
We have a good draft. That's good.
Yeah.
So probably a lot of tweaks first, but yeah, if you want to sit on it for a couple months, let it get dark.
Yeah, just
See what
see
happens.
what it's like in the
Sure.
winter and stuff. Yeah, okay. Great, very good. All right, next up, I'm sorry, approve the 2023 rec contract with the town of Palmer.
We were already kind of doing this. We are going back and kind of crossing our T's and dotting our I's. So this is a.
Yes, you may.
Thank you.
I just love my pen.
Oh, I'll get it back.
I think I have.
No,
leave it. Hey, Hal, I think. All I'm doing is, I have the one I think I'm much to sign.
You got the one?
Yeah.
All right, you hold the stuff for me, I'll sign it all at the end.
I'll make a motion that
Thank you.
I just want to check.
to approve the 2023 recreation contract with the town of Homer.
Discussion, all in favor?
Looks like I'm-
Oh, I don't know if it is. Okay, next up, approve the 2024 rec contract with the town of Palmer.
I make a motion that we approve the 2024 recreation contract.
You can certainly sign that one if you'd like.
You want me to sign this one?
That one you can sign.
This one I can sign. You can be so kind. All right, we have a second and discussion, all in favor? All
Aye.
right, unanimous.
I'm gonna have a rec. I apologize. I don't want to steal you all thunder.
Okay. That one's,
Unless it's Ed. I don't mind stealing this one.
Right there.
okay.
All I'm doing is just checking off, that's all.
All right. Approve the 2024 rec contract with the town of Cortlandville.
Make a motion that we approve the 2024 contract with Portlandville.
I'll second.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, unanimous, very good. I forgot that one. Approve the SRO salary schedule for 23-24.
They're just paid on a fiscal year, so it's broken down differently. And it's based on what the school pays them. The school gave them a nice raise this year. And they paid the lifetime Medicare.
Very good.
Make a motion that we approve the SRO salary schedule for 2023-2024. Second.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Next up, approve water and sewer credit requests.
I'll make a motion that we approve the water and sewer credit for 100 North Main Street. It seems to be in line with our policies and there's been no previous credit.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. All right. Accept cemetery donation depositing funds in the cemetery reserve.
I'll make a motion to accept the very nice $100 donation.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
And just note that, it was a donation to the cemetery because of the good work that's being done, keeping the cemetery in good shape. So thank you for all that you and your crew are doing. It's fun.
Let's see, all right, approve approve surplus policy.
But we have one now, that's good.
I mean,
In line with Tompkins County, just so you know, I did some research and, to find some of the ones that were already being used.
Okay, it makes sense to me, of the, auction, sale, disposal, or donation. And we have many options, and we have our process here to go through. So it's not, take your choice if there is a process, so I'll make a motion that we accept the policy, or is this something that has to be put up for?
No,
No, it's just the policy, it's not a law,
It
okay.
actually needs a vote.
Okay.
I'll second it.
discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, next up. Approve donating the AED to the Homer Elks.
We talked about this last week, the last board meeting.
And Fran's suggestion was to wait for the policy and then since it's in compliance, then to do it.
I'll make a motion, we donate it.
Jay, did you have anything to say about that?
Just that the Elks was looking into this, the EMS captain prior to the last one that took over was in the works and he was wondering if we had anything. We do have 2 surplus AEDs. I just think it'd be good to go to use for the Elks Club, who we use a lot for functions throughout the village and the fire department as a whole. So that's
Totally agree.
my 2
We
cents.
always have a lot of people there, so chances of crap happening would be.
I think the golf crew.
No,
No.
It'd be good too.
One on it.
Bill was talking to me, sorry.
I think we got a plant in the audience here.
Yeah.
I was hoping to get to the golf cart, that's why I'm sticking around.
We're getting
I
there.
think there's a plant.
I make a motion that we approve the donation of the AED to the Homer Elks of the surplus AED.
I'll second that.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, unanimous. Let's see, you're gonna approve,
Amnesty Day.
Amnesty Day is gonna be October 14th. 2023. You need a,
I'll make a motion that we approve Amnesty Day for October 14th, 2023.
I'll second it.
discussion,
Same policy and procedure as we used in the spring.
Yep.
Sound good?
Yeah, that worked out real well.
yeah,
I'll update,
Laying out the other.
I'll update the flyer tomorrow so they can have the exact times after working with Bill and who's gonna be at time.
And chief, we can have somebody there.
I can know it right now.
Great, thank you. We got a motion, do we get a second?
yeah, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Unanimous, very good. All right, next up, approve recreation refunds.
I'll make a motion that we pay the recreation refunds as stated. There's one of 3 of them.
I'll second it.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Approve a cross contract for use of flail field.
They've already given me the certificate of insurance, by the way.
Okay, good.
I think this is a great idea. If you want to hit each other with sticks, I'm all for it.
Okay.
Go ahead. Make the motion.
I'll make a motion that we accept the agreement for the lacrosse team.
I'll second.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous.
Oh, that's one wild.
Let's see here. Fall all one night?
Yeah, Pat already mentioned.
Pat already did spell off one night,
We can
okay.
mention it again.
It's 5 to 8, starting in the green, and we have music, pony rides. Fire department is gonna do fire truck rides around the village. They're gonna pull the ladder truck out to lift people up. There's a hot dog eating contest that Paula told me you're participating in,
I
and
did,
we're getting Hoffman hot dogs so that
I
you can
specifically
participate.
said,
And then we have a fire chief participating, I hear, and there's Chief Barber. We have a gluten allergy and another, so we cannot have him. I hear Chief Pittman over there is doing. Nice try.
How about Jacob? He looks like he could put away some. One of your police officers.
Yeah, take it.
Yeah, Jake. Yeah, he's thin. Yeah,
yeah, but thin ones always win.
that's the thing. I mean,
Oh, I did pretty good. See George Chestnut, he's not.
Yeah, you're doing it.
And
And-
chicken wing. Chicken wing.
Wait, you
can
not
always
like
make
hot
that
dogs?
happen.
That says it all. You don't like Fords or hot dogs? Where are you from?
but see, he's a ringer.
Not America.
He's a ringer for the chicken wing contest.
Wow.
Yeah, we got the reigning champion over there.
Yes, we do.
So tomorrow, people are meeting to finalize the festival. Like I said, the Brewster House is gonna sell chili, the Legion is gonna do a chicken barbecue. The Exchange Restaurant is gonna be selling food. They're gonna be calling me on finalizing the details. Lulu's Kettle Corn is coming.
Oh, good.
There's a lot of the church is actually the Homer Congregational Church is gonna be doing fried dough, nachos, probably the apple dipping sauce. The whole theme is on pumpkins and apples.
Great.
And
A lot on Wednesday night to throw together.
I know. And
I'm excited.
they're bringing the games out. They'll maybe we may have two different, we're figuring out who's running the games. And then the farmer's market is coming. They're gonna do a pop-up. They're gonna have the music station. They're gonna have a craft station. They offered to help do the cooking contest if we want to do that, which will be decided tomorrow. Seven Valley House is coming. The Center for Arts is gonna do a crafts coloring at the Little White Church. And then we're dealing with getting the different police departments with Bob over there, because he was on vacation during the planning. So he was looking at it this week, and we're looking at a couple other things with that. My favorite is the ladder truck that they lift the kids all the way up, and that is gonna be down by where you would enter to go see where the river walk will start. You'll go to the pier, talk to Phil. Since we're not closing roads, there is very little work for village employees to do, but I talked to him and there's 2 trees he's gonna take down and the walkway is gonna be totally clear to walk down to see where the river is.
Right.
Yep. Oh, well, thanks, done.
Oh, that's the crab apples though.
The committee asked for that and to have that so comments can be seen and people can see where it is. And the magician will be before the hot dog eating contest in the tree development.
Not to rain on this parade, as it's the 4th Wednesday of the month. Have to let the planning board members that they will not be able to attend. Unless they make their decisions quickly.
Little incentive bump.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Or research.
All right.
Thank you for telling me before he.
Approve
nodded
extending
tomorrow.
Carl Cole appointment to October 31st, 2023.
I'll make the motion that we approve Carl Cole's appointment through October 31st, 2023.
Second.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Yes. Discuss golf cart purchase. Go ahead, chief.
My turn.
Yeah. What did Jay have you write? What did Jay want you to read out?
So I gave Jay the idea. Brackway.
Is he taking credit for this?
Yes, he is.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
All right, go ahead.
Cart donated to us from Brackway. And it actually worked out very well. You know, if they need it for EMS, handicap, parking, getting people locals and stuff, so. Actually, 2 golf carts wouldn't be a bad idea. So.
So
The police department, we're walking during these events, but our department, you throw their gear in there. He's not even listening to me.
So
I'm listening to you.
Medical bags, they can go, and it's a good idea, and you can put Because we are blocking the streets down, we can get people to the exit points quicker, so I think it'd be a good idea.
I think it's a great idea. If we could ever get this river trail going, they'd have to be, maybe put somebody on it to get them.
Well, so let me
I think
back
it's a
up.
good idea.
Well, yeah, I don't think it's a bad idea, but are these new carts, used carts? Are they the two-seater regular golf carts?
So they're the 2-seater regular golf carts from Walden Oaks Country Club. That they're going between 3,500 to 4,000 for a cart. They're gonna knock off a deal for us. That's what they were getting for them, and we can get the inserts for the back. I think it's. Somebody told me around like $500 when I talked to Smitty, who you guys see for the Legion that drives around with his insert in the back to fit people on the back. So there is a way to make it so that we can have, like, if people need to be helped out, or we have the handicap that go from the handicap lots that we have and like driving them back and forth to their vehicles, or just driving around giving people water.
Sure. These are
Maybe
gas.
even a trailer with it.
So these are actually used, just so you know, and that's why you get the price. They would be 9,000 and up new.
Yeah.
But it definitely has the use. I just pulled up the sales price so
Right.
you guys would see. And getting it used, since they're not used every day, would be a better use of them.
Sure.
Are these gas or electric?
They're gas.
Okay.
If anybody's golfed at Walden Oaks for the past 20, or not 20 years, I think they're 10 years old, 12 years old. The last 12 years, those are the carts that you rode in. I tested out all the ones they had there, not me. I brought in Gary McEwen because he's a resident golfer, and had him put him through the ringer, and talked to Marcus Berdoni, and he's the one that suggested a couple golf carts. We tested them out, and we have them set aside for us if we want them. So they've been.
So the reason for two is if one is used by the fire at the time that someone is being transported at the same time is why there would be two. So like the fire could have the one solely for the emergency, but like with the Brockway, there's people parked far away, or in Holiday and Homer far away. So there would be insurance to actually transport people where may not be insurance if we're borrowing carts and not owning them. So that's why we're looking at doing it through the fire department, because the fire department driving them, and certain others, if the fire department's involved, there's insurance and stuff.
Where would you store them, Jack?
That was my question.
We have the building next to the training tower. We were looking actually today to Max and I moving. There's a couple of fire prevention boxes in there and moving them to where the other fire prevention stuff is. And then there's a old drinking fountain that's been in there since just after I got in, so 15 years almost. That's in there, like stuff like that we can get out of that building. So we do have room for it, plenty of room actually. So
And then if approved, they're not gonna be driven for the next couple of weeks. We're gonna come in with a policy on who can drive, training and all that. So, but we didn't work on that until they're approved. So Jay,
Is gonna have to come up with lights.
well, that's gonna be.
Everything.
yeah, we don't really need lights for them because we're gonna be doing it for like just that a lot of the stuff is closed off, and
Yeah,
I think we'll be all right.
If they were approved, do you see using these instead of having a shuttle service for some of our bigger events? Maybe saving money there.
I don't know if we'd use it for shuttle service. I think more for just people that need an extra assistance,
admin.
stuff like that.
Yeah, and like Tanya said, like a policy in place for like handicapped people or stuff like that that just to help them out. And we have one for emergency response, and there's times where we had water that we donated to the public this year that we could probably like send the firefighters out and water and stuff,
Money in the budget for it.
That was my.
Yep, money's in the budget. I've been working with Jay on this,
All
so.
right.
As we've been having more festivals and the Brockway parade has been getting bigger and bigger and the streets being blocked off, I think these would be a great asset to help with emergency services.
And you would have the logo on it, the village.
We can
logo.
phase that in
That'd be
as much
nice.
as allows, but yeah.
Yeah, so.
Decorate it. Okay, I'm good. I'm with it. I'm down with it.
I like the way you guys are addressing the handicap issue. Thank you for that.
No, absolutely.
I'll make a motion that we purchase the two golf carts for the fire department and police, and whoever in the village needs it,
The amount of $6,000.
in an amount of $6,000, yes.
There's another part for three, Andrew says he needs one.
He'll have to call an emergency to the fire department.
They'll have to sign it out from the fire department. I'll second it.
Or have a big.
Any other discussion?
They said banning.
All in favor?
Aye.
The chief's gonna have fun now with all his lights.
Andrew, you can get a megaphone and you can be like encouraging, hey, when the police department's doing the torch run, you can be going along yelling encouragement.
Hey, again, as long as it falls in the parameters of what we're gonna do for a guy, it's all good stuff. I mean, we can open it up. I know that at times the DPW goes around and has to pick up trash and stuff, that this could be another avenue for them to better access to rotate garbages out and all that
The whole
stuff.
village is coming to
Yeah.
He's very nice.
I know the school would probably want to borrow for the graduation that you.
Yeah.
That's why we'll just talk to both insurance companies and get them on there.
Great idea, great idea. All right, next up, Town of Scott Fire Protection Agreement. My understanding is they're ready to go into the 3-year.
This is $1 per thousand at what the levels are right now.
Back in open arms.
A real credit, Jay.
Great job, Jay.
Jay,
Yeah, it took a little bit, but I mean, I appreciate Tanya and the deputy mayor meeting with the town supervisor, and we had good discussions, and it was the concerns you had were warranted, and we just tried to put them at ease for all that.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
so I'll make a motion that we approve or authorize the mayor to sign the Town of Scott Fire contract 2024 to 2026 calendar years. Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye. Jay, was there anything else you wanted to discuss about the contract?
That's right.
Well, we took out, there was that one thing in there for standpipes, at designated locations that the fire department had found, and all the studies that we've done with the dry hydrants and all of that, it's really finding a secondary water source by just dropping hard suction into water or going back to a fire hydrant were best. Between the frost and everything and the pipes cracking, it was just better. And that was one of the things that Skeeter didn't want in there if it was a unnecessary expense that he felt like he was going to be violating our contract. So we took that out.
Okay.
That was one thing of discussion with him. And then the level of response was as a concern. A couple of years back, we dropped our level of response because of COVID, I believe. I can't really speak to it. It was under Malin as the fire chief, but we've since brought the level back up, and we printed out the run cards that we have for 911 for what we go to, which triggers a Homer Fire Department response. I sent that to Skeeter, the town supervisor. They overlooked it and they're happy with it. So in that contract, you'll see that we are adopting the 2023 run cards. And that's the level that we are going to guarantee the town of Scott that we will be responding to. So he was happy with that too.
That's terrific.
That was outstanding work by you guys. Thank you,
Yeah.
Jay.
Thank
you.
Done that. All right. Comments by the attorney. Bring that you right now. Board member comments. Ed.
We're gonna do the ride up to Lafayette, like I said, this Monday. We're gonna look at the salt shed. We're gonna go look at that. How's our dam coming? I don't. Dan?
We'll discuss that next meeting, yeah.
Okay.
We're doing a
That's
grant
good then.
update next one.
We did turn in the $80,000 request for the river trail, so we'll see what happens here. And I understand that the DRI people are doing some of this work on the 27th to help facilitate getting extra points or whatever towards being able to win a grant. So that may give us some advantage sometime down the road, hopefully. But at least we're in the running again.
All right.
Over.
Okay. Pat.
Kevin, did you want to talk about Mike McDermott?
I just thought that we would have a moment of silence.
Oh, yeah, Mike.
Now, or
No,
I
that's-
didn't want to go over, so.
No, that's fine.
Good
Mike
idea.
McDermott, 6 years as a trustee, 6 years as a mayor, 2 years as the New York State American Legion commander.
Yes.
Passed suddenly, and as Kevin said, I think a moment of silence would be appropriate.
Good man.
Especially for the contribution that he made to the village. Okay, very good. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, he's a good man.
Yeah,
Uh, For next meeting, I'd like to see if we can put the Hooker Avenue sign. I think has everybody had time to look at the notes? And let's see if we can put that to rest.
good idea.
Tanya, I didn't get a chance to ask you yet, but we should be getting close to budget season.
Yep.
I was thinking
It
about that
start-
the other day.
We start with personnel, mid to end of October, and then we book everybody else.
Okay, so we'll be looking at mid to end of October. And then we have a card, and I'll pass this around, and they'll make sure you guys see it too, for the, one of the trees on the green. It was from the Methodist Church. That was, one of the trees was threatening their church and their window, and the guys took care of it. So
Good.
this is a thank you to them.
Very good.
And that's all I have.
Have anything else?
That's it.
Is that enough?
Okay. I'll do things, just don't want to let Daniel know that I tried to contact Terry Dennis today to set up a meeting. I called her and texted her, I didn't get any response, I'll try again tomorrow. We need to get that done as soon as possible. In reference to the 281 beautification thing, with the solar lights, from what I understand, the way the grant was written, they have to be plug-ins, they cannot be solar. So I talked with Dan a little bit today. We're gonna try to contact National Grid to see if we can get some kind of electrical plug-in on those poles. There's 32 poles from KU to Clinton Street. I don't know if that's gonna be possible. It's not gonna be possible this year. But we're gonna try to see if something can happen next year.
So with the grant, if that isn't possible, the beautification has some other locations.
Good. Okay, good.
So just so you know, because I had talked to them, because you have to show the savings in power. So, the outages, so their locations, and hopefully the businesses won't mind me mentioning them now because they haven't been asked yet. But they would have started at the fire department, the rec building, to the Legion, to the Center for the Arts and that section, and that would cover the dollars of the grants. Because right now, the last ones went up, they're going up the church,
Right.
the green. So that was the section they thought would be the next one, and if any went further, if there was more money, it would be the town hall.
Okay, well, that makes sense. I think there's a 0% chance that you're gonna get grid. And to agree to plugins, we can't get them to do anything.
Well,
So-
if we don't ask.
Well, you can ask, but
A piece of conduit run down with power.
But they gotta turn it from.
they got a meter, all that stuff there. What I'm saying though is, I'm assuming they won't allow. So, but we should put it we'll put it in the budget to get the LED, to get the solar ones for there.
Okay, and then I did a bunch of research on that. I've got issues with, I don't know how bright they're gonna be. My major concern is, Homer, the main street's it's always beautiful. I don't wanna do something half-assed.
No.
I wanna do it so it's
Yes,
not gonna compare with Main Street, but I want it to be.
Could you spend some of the money for underground conduit
it's still
We don't own it.
it's still the issue of,
right away?
well, it's just they have to meter all of it.
Well, if they do 1 meter, you're not talking a lot of amps, so you could, bury a conduit.
The problem is you gotta have it done and counted and approved by the end of October.
Oh,
Their
there you go.
permission. So to use the 5,000, and I'm not saying in the future, but for this 5,000 in the grant, and it only goes so far. So that's why we came up with an alternate location for holiday lights. We have to make sure they understand the 10,000 is for the green now and not going forward, and then the others going further on the main towards
Right,
south. I'm wondering.
yeah, but I do want to figure out a solution for 21.
We'll figure it out.
The beautification wanted to take the wreath if they could and get solar lights and line the wreath.
I did talk with Terry about.
Yeah, I mean, I
Yeah,
think
so-
that would look good. All right,
What else was that? I think that's it. Except that, I was talking to a friend of mine who was experienced with the solar lights. Sometimes if it, extreme cold, the batteries, the backup will freeze.
that's true.
So we gotta be aware.
They don't explode or anything, but they just stop working.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a good point too.
They dump out and then they work again.
and then we have to make sure that we position the solar panel in the right spot.
The aim south, yeah.
I
That's
don't know, I just keep on working.
that's all we can do, but let's see what Grid has to say. Maybe they'll have better news for us than I anticipate.
See what happens.
You know, so
I'm done.
And I have nothing.
nothing. Okay, all right.
Can we thank all the people for helping with recreation when Zach left for that for those couple weeks? Because everything from employees to Jake, who did way extra stand there, making sure everybody had uniforms and locks, to Harder coming to make sure, to Phil and his crew, literally, I call him like, I don't know what this is, but go fix it. And I did that to you a few times, and then the volunteers that were running it, if they weren't there those couple weeks, there would be no football, there would be no cheer. Cortland Youth Bureau was helping us, getting contacts, so. And thank God for Andrew. So, but to be honest, without them doing that, there wouldn't have been enough practices in for the kids to play. The school superintendent was helping me with fields and stuff, the athletic superintendent.
Right.
So
Good.
everybody and their brothers stepped up to help.
So that's why this is a great place to
It
live.
is,
That's
it's
why
nice.
it's a great place to live.
And the fire department was everything for them. The AEDs and the kits when I didn't even know what was supposed to be in it.
All right, questions from the media?
I have a couple of questions.
Sure.
So the interim,
LED light,
contract,
Contract.
yes, that is for a year.
1 year.
And then is the 30-day termination policy, when does that occur?
That's either party can give 30 days notice and terminate the contract
Oh, just
at
that,
any point.
okay. And then can I get a copy of the contract?
Yeah, I'm digging your one.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
That's it for me.
That's it.
People gave me their.
Jack, any questions? Okay.
Kevin?
Kevin, questions?
Yeah, I got questions. For Amnesty Day, what are the policy procedures? Like, what's the summary of that? Like, what for Amnesty Day?
Homer residents, and we'll have an officer there just to check. So, Homer residents need to bring proof of residency. And then we have a system set up where they come in by the DPW and exit out of the compost site. That makes things run so much easier that way.
And this is just for village residents.
Village residents, not
Village residents only.
Village residents, okay. And there isn't a time set for it yet?
It'll be on the flyer. What's
I mean,
the,
we're looking at 8 to 4.
8 to 4.
Okay.
Yes, it's fluctuated within half an hour, so preliminary, but I'll send it to you tomorrow once Phil looks at it and approves it, and it will even have what materials are accepted.
Great. And then for the golf carts, they were 6,000. Is that what I heard?
3,000 each, 2 of them.
2. Okay. And they're gonna be I'm correct me if I'm wrong. They're gonna be shared between the police and fire departments, or no?
And recreation.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the fire department will have ownership, but we'll develop a policy where other departments can use them as needed.
And then Tanya or someone Tanya or someone, could they send me the contract for that project, the 281 project? Is that what it is called? don't know if I'm saying it right.
For what?
The one that was requested.
The sign?
The sign, I think, is
The
that
LED sign?
the first discussion.
Yep.
Yeah,
I did
yeah.
that.
Okay, yeah. I
Yep,
couldn't, I couldn't remember what it was called.
yep, the school one.
Okay, great. All right, that's it for me.
All right. Then I would ask for a motion to go into executive session per New York State Public Officers Law, Article 7, Section 105, discuss a real estate matter.
And also section F to discuss a personnel matter.
And Section F, discuss personnel matter.
I'll
Jump in
second
the executive for 1 minute.
Of course.
I wouldn't mind them.
Okay, time is 7:17.
We have another personnel matter that you don't know, and that's why Andrew,
Tammy, he's giving us the whole.
that's why Andrew's here.
Well,
Sorry, notes.
Well, we'll take a quick break here. And take a look at that around. I think use the rest of it.
It's a pretty good problem on list, that'll be all right, so.
they move it.
Yeah, I think they're supposed to have all their contracts signed this month. One in what, February? It started in June, so they got.
It's faster than I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah, me too.
Well, you haven't had people come out of the woodwork yet, like they did in Portland. Remember they had a uprising and then they changed all their projects.
I was so confused when the one in front of my house was removed, but I never thought the same thing.
Yeah.
Cool.
You may want to find a little trailer for those golf carts, just the whole.
Yeah, they do.
Anyone that would work, that would destroy the rear end.
I'm just putting tires on it, first time in 20 years, so.
Are we still on?
Yeah, okay, good. Will not stop streaming.
We could. shut
Just
the
stop it
computer off.
altogether.
I hear you, buddy.
And do you just